In the year of the Hydra, the League of Explorers were reintroduced into the core set, which means you can play the League of Explorers in standard mode once again. This hasn't happened in a very long time, and it got me thinking, how good were the League of Explorers? The League of Explorers were introduced in the League of Explorers adventure released in 2015. At the time, this adventure released in a very interesting way that we've never really seen before. When this adventure was released, they didn't really give us any time to theorycraft, which made the adventure a lot more interesting and fun when it actually came out, because it felt like decks weren't already solved. It was just kind of the Wild West of Hearthstone. You should do that again, Hearthstone. It was fun. Before this adventure was released, we had the Grand Tournament, and the meta at the time was basically revolved around Secret Paladin as being the best deck in the game, where you just played really good minions on curve, and that's how most games of Hearthstone felt. So the League of Explorers was a huge breath of fresh air. In case you don't know who the League of Explorers are, first of all, get out under that rock. What are you, Patrick Star? I'm gonna go through them. Around 80% of you aren't subscribed. I would really appreciate it if you could. You look great. First, we have Reno Jackson, which is probably the biggest star of that set because it literally built a brand new archetype in Hearthstone known as Highlander. Next, we have Sir Finley, which introduced the brand new mechanic of swapping your hero power, which we have never seen before in Hearthstone, which led to a lot of interesting deck decisions. We have Elise, which introduced a quest in game by finding the golden monkey and replacing your entire deck with legendaries, which at the time was really awesome. And then we have Brann, who is just doubling your battle cries. Most people probably know him now from Battlegrounds, but he was originally introduced into standard. I can honestly say at the time, the League of Explorers were probably the coolest cards introduced into the game, and it led to a lot of really fun games that we've never really seen before in Hearthstone. But I bet you're wondering, how good were the League of Explorers in 2015? But we have to remember what the game was like. It was nowhere near what Hearthstone is like now. The game mattered a lot more on value. There was no rush, a lot less powerful battle cries. So the League of Explorers did make a pretty big impact when they were introduced into the game. Let's start off with Sir Finley. He actually made a really big impact into the game, and it wasn't for the reason you're probably thinking. A lot of the time he was used in a tempo/aggro deck. The reason is that it allowed decks that didn't really have a great hero power that wanted to be aggressive to basically have an aggressive hero power. I know, crazy, right? The best example of this was with Shaman. A lot of the time you would not really want Totemic Call if you were playing some kind of aggro or mid-range deck. By playing Sir Finley, you were able to find a better hero power. This card was also extremely valuable for classes that wanted to have a control deck that didn't really have a good hero power for that either. Decks like Control Paladin don't really want to 1/1 every single turn, so you can get life tap or armor up or whatever the priest hero power is called. It made the control archetype a lot better for those particular classes. Also, since Sir Finley was 1 mana and you didn't really need to build a deck around him, he saw a bunch of play in a variety of meta games and continued to do so until he was finally rotated out. Next, we'll go on to Brann, and I think it's pretty obvious the fact that he's being played in standard right now that Brann was a pretty great card. This is the type of card that I want to say has pseudo taunt, in the sense that if you don't end up actually killing this card, you will probably lose that game almost guaranteed. Whether you needed more value or tempo, Brann is pretty versatile in the sense that no matter when you draw him, he's probably gonna just be a pretty great card. With more cards being added into the game with stronger battle cries, Brann got even better. This is showcased even more currently in standard because Brann is back in the core set. You could see how powerful he is with some of the battle cries that we see now in Hearthstone. One of the best combinations with Brann was Lotheb. You were able to get all your opponent's spells to 11 mana, and they probably just lost the game because of that. I don't know, there isn't much to say here. Brann's a good card. He was even really good in Savers of Uldum. I think Brann is just the most underrated League of Explorer, just a very, very powerful effect. Elise Starseeker is probably the most interesting when it comes to her power level over the years. Unlike the other League of Explorers, her power level dropped drastically as more win conditions were added into the game. But in 2015, she was pretty good. She was a win condition in almost every single slower deck because there was just not a lot of win conditions. Adding a bunch of random legendaries into your deck was a super fun experience, but she also added a bunch of cards into your deck, which definitely helped you out in those fatigue matchups. Some of you might not know what fatigue matchups are. It's when your deck actually runs out of cards and you start taking fatigue. I don't know if we see that now in Hearthstone. Elise was basically used for only one thing, and that was to have a win condition in a very slow control deck. Priest was a really good example of this. Priest absolutely loved this card. But that's basically it for Elise. She was a pretty niche card. If you needed some more value into your deck, you added her. Even though she was probably the worst of the League of Explorers, she definitely did have her place, and her effect was so awesome that I'm really glad they made this card. Next, we'll go on to probably the most popular League of Explorer, which is Reno Jackson. You could probably guess due to the effect and the fact that they made a brand new archetype around this card. It turned out in 2015, if you have the ability to fully restore all of your hero's life, it was a very good effect. This effect was so powerful that there was a bunch of decks that were trying him out. Even Secret Paladin at the time wanted to try a Highlander version of that deck because of how ridiculous this card was. This card obviously had a really good payoff for making your deck less consistent, but you could almost look at this effect as resetting the game back in 2015. I don't think I really need to talk too much about Reno Jackson. I think it's very obvious how powerful this effect was. It's also important to note that every single one of the League of Explorers ended up seeing competitive play because they were just pretty good effects at the time. But the question is, how good are the League of Explorers now? So it turns out that all of the League of Explorers have less than a 50% win rate, with Brann being the highest, but I wanted to see how bad they really were. We'll start with this though. This is free. Just don't get the draw. Okay, there she is. This is always free in a sense. It's just too juicy, man. Come on, Elise. We have the map in the game. Okay. No map? Any mappers? That's not it. Oh, there's the map. Shield slamming a 1/3. So we know Brand's at the bottom of my deck, but now it won't be because I'm shuffling the golden monkey in. Listen, if I could actually play the golden monkey, I haven't seen the golden monkey played since Elise has been in the core set. So if I can actually end up playing it, what else could I ask for? I don't think I'm gonna win this. I have no minions. Oh, I thought, wait, this is disgusting. This is where Brand's so good, right? Like this combination alone makes Brann really powerful. I can't believe I actually got to play it. Oh my God. This is so exciting. This is useless. This is good. This is actually good too. I can get a, no. Okay, Carriel's fine. Okay, that's actually okay. This is too good. Carriel Rome. No, this is too good. Okay, can I win this? Oh my God. Okay, that's actually not bad. Let's play this. Let's get another one. That's absolutely useless, so that's pretty sick. Where's my colossals? I need oh, wow, that's so good. So they have 2 heavy plates. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's over, dude. I can't beat this. I'm gonna need like Deathwing or something to even come back to this. The worst part about this is that they're now ahead of me on fatigue anyways. So it's not like Elise did anything. He actually did theoretic. Oh, God. Rank card 2. Oh, I'm dead. What okay? No, Elise sucks. Okay, well, this game I didn't see Sir Finley or Reno. Coincidence that we won? This is it. We can finally showcase how powerful you are. Don't let me down. All right, what do we want? Oh, the steady shot, eh? Let's do it. I mean, this is Reno, right? Like, at least Reno did something here, I think. Okay, well, I mean, we healed up, we're not dead. We cleared some of the board. That's about the best I can do, I think. Reno, I guess, saved me. I don't know how I win. Like, I feel like I don't have enough removal in the deck. We don't have Zephyrus, yeah. I played a bunch of games with the League of Explorers, but I think from the clips I showcased really explains the problem. It turns out these effects were really good back then, but most of them just don't really do enough anymore. Reno Jackson, even though it did full heal me, just didn't feel like a powerful enough effect to actually turn the game around. Sir Finley, I think the biggest issue is that if you're hero powering right now in Hearthstone, you're probably doing something wrong or it's just not good enough. And at least other win conditions are just so much better. I think Brann is one of the cards that we'll see continuous play throughout the year. Reno might get better with better card quality coming up with future expansions added, but we'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.